न त्वां त्यजामि दयितं द्विजदेव दत्तम् यस्मिन् मनोदृगपिनो न वियाति लग्नम् मां चारुशृङ्गरसी नेतुं ननुव्रतं ते चित्तं यत प्रतिसरन्ति शिवा सचिव्यः. So word by word translation. Na, not. Tvam, you. Tyajami, I shall give up. Dayitam, very dear. Dvijadeva, my Lord Brahma, the demigod worshipped by the Brahmanas. Dattam, given. Yasmin, unto whom? Manaha, mind. Drik, eyes. Api, also. Na, my. Navyati, do not go away. Lagnam, tightly attached. Mam, me. Charushringi, oh beautiful with beautiful raised breasts. A woman with beautiful raised breasts. Arhasi, you ought. Netum, to lead. Anuvratam, follower. Te, your. Chittam, desire. Yataha, wherever. Pratisarantu, may follow. Shiva, favorable. Sachivya, friends. Translation by His Divine Krishna Prabhupada. Lord Brahma, who is worshipped by the Brahmanas, has very mercifully given you to me. And that is why I have met you. I do not want to give up your company, for my mind and eyes are fixed upon you and cannot be drawn away. O women with beautiful raised breasts, I am your follower. You may take me wherever you like, and your friends may also follow me. Lord Brahma, who is worshipped by the Brahmanas, has very mercifully given you to me, and that is why I have met you. I do not want to give up your company, for your mind and eyes are fixed. For my mind and eyes are fixed upon you and cannot be drawn away. O woman with beautiful raised breasts, I am your follower. You may take me wherever you like, and your friends may also follow me. Purport by His Divine Krishna Prabhupada. Now, Agnigdra frankly admits his weakness. He was attached to Purvachitti, and therefore, because before she could say, but I have no business with you, he expressed his desire to be united with her. He was so attracted that he was ready to go anywhere, hell or heaven, in her company. When one is absorbed in lust and the influence of sex, one surrenders to the feet of a woman without reservations. Srila Madhvacharya remarks in this connection that when one engages in joking and talking like a crazy person, one may say anything and everything, but his words will be meaningless. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we've been hearing about King Agnidra all this time, how he went out to do some story, perform a story to get a wife. And by Lord Brahma's mercy, Urvachitti actually appeared in front of her. And by looking at her, he became bewildered, he became attracted. And by seeing her beauty, he started taking all sorts of things. And and sometimes this is normally in real life, right? If you attract someone, you would say all the nice things to attract a person. You'll use flowery words. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so lovely. When you walk like this, and so forth. You'll use all the synonyms and all sorts of words to glorify someone. And this is normally happens when someone falls in love, right? When someone falls in love, they use all these words. And we can see how when someone falls in love, one gets sometimes lose their sense, and they just cannot think beyond that person. That person is fixed in their mind, and they constantly think about that person. They would do anything to please that person, and yeah, they would go extra mile or whatever they need to do to get this person in their life, and this is how things are in real life these days. Nowadays people are more attracted to how someone looks like, how someone physically looks like. It's all about the body now, not about the inner heart. It's all about how you look. If you're a guy, then girls would prefer you to have, a guy would be nice and built, six pack maybe, and really good looking, and that would attract the girl. And the girl would basically, if for her to attract men, she would dress in such a way these days that it's kind of inappropriate, but that's how they dress these days. They would show the legs. They would, they dress in such a way that automatically, if someone sees them, they would, oh wow, he is gorgeous. Those kinds of things. They would use all these words, to attract someone. And because the way things are these days, especially in the Western countries, if you want to attract, even if you want to advertise a product, what they do now, they use females or good models, good-looking models to show that this person is actually promoting that product, and that's how they attract people to buy the products. Even in the games these, if you look, if you go to rugby or even those international games, you have in the Western countries, particularly, you see, and probably everywhere nowadays, you'll see girls, ladies dressed in such a way, and they would have all these things in their hands. It was like, perform some sort of dance and do something that will attract. So nowadays, people have learned how to attract men and the best way is to put women in the front, and they have to dress in some unfortunate way, an inappropriate way. But that's what it is these days. That society has gone down to that level where people are more body conscious than actually they're not thinking deep into and they're not they don't have higher values. I remember when Prabhupada went to New York and he saw these tall buildings, and he said, Prabhupada asked, why do we hold these tall buildings like in New York? And someone mentioned, because the women here are the controllers. They control men, and for them, they have to have those buildings, So Prabhupada immediately said, this is all Vishnumaya, this all illusion. It's all about how you look these days. Even if the people in the late 70s or 80s, people are just still these days so much attached to sex life, wanting to enjoy it every moment. At that age, people would never consider to go into some sort of Varnaprastha age. That's generally the case. But these days, you look at everywhere. You see billboards out on the roads. They would have something that would that indicates some sort of lust, sex, everything related to all of that. And unfortunately, nowadays TV programs, videos, and all sorts of things have some level of nudity in the content. And this is how we have younger generation, particularly, they get into all sorts of such activities at an early age. And nowadays it's all about them experimenting things. Very unfortunate. I mean, remember when I first came to New Zealand, and I was at the bus stop in Manukau, and it was probably around 6 o'clock, and this young gentleman, probably in his 15, 16 years old, Islander guy, he comes to me, approaches me and says, sir, can I ask for an advice? What is it? I don't know you. I said, yeah, but you look smart the way you dress. So I said, I want to ask you some advice. Said, okay, what can I do? I mean, what would you like to talk about? So he said that from his partner, the first partner, he has got a 1-year-old son. And he said he would like to have that son to come and stay with him. I said, what happened? Is it because you're loving someone else now or what? He said, yes. So I've got a son, 1-year-old son from my first partner. Now I find someone else and I would like to get the son to stay with me. He said, but why did you even consider having a child if you were not able to kind of look after? I said, most important thing, a child doesn't just need a mother or father. A child needs both. I suggest you just go back to the first partner, stay with the first partner and look after the both together. Why do you want to even consider? If you weren't sure, then why do you even produce a child? Because what you did, I said the child's going to grow up and he's going to do the same thing. He will think it's normal, to have a child at an early age and so forth. But that's what it is. And he actually said to me, he said a friend of him told him that you cannot be eating dal and rice every day. I said, but it's not dal and rice. If you want to have a relationship, you need to be committed to it. You can't just think that, oh, today I'm going to have her, tomorrow I'm going to have someone else. And unfortunately, this is how the society is today. And this has become a new norm. Wanting to enjoy. If you look at all those TV serials that come out, TV shows, you've seen them, like Shortland Street, one classic example. How long it's been going for? Not that I've watched for a long time, but I remember watching it way back, and I was like thinking, characters, they stick with one, a few months later, they stick with someone else, and so forth, and just recycling among themselves, and what is this, But that's how things are today, unfortunately. That's because we are not encouraging abstaining. We're not encouraging brahmacharya. The society is not encouraging. General society. The society is saying, okay, well, you can go and have contraception. You can have all these things that you can do, avoid having children. But they're trying to promote enjoyment. That's unfortunate today, but that's what it is. We're grateful that we've got this wonderful knowledge and our guidance from Sri Prabhupada and our devotees, and the importance of maintaining brahmacharya. So the power of man is brahmacharya, and power of woman is chastity. Women must remain chaste, and men should remain brahmacharya, maintain brahmacharya. And because the vidya is a life force for men. So we see here how this celestial being Urvachiti appeared to attract Agnidra. We also see in the Puranas how sometimes when some rishis would go out to perform some sort of tapasya, then we would see Indra would send celestial girls to distract them. We have a classic example is Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra went to perform tapasya to become a Brahma Rishi. And when Indra saw that after when Vishwamitra started performing tapasya, he got fearful that he might take my throne. So to distract him, he sent Menka. Menka or Rambha, and then Menka. And that's how basically from the union they had Shakuntala. Shakuntala, yes. So they got distracted. But later on, Vishwamitra realized that actually these are all the demigods' activities, deployed to stop me from doing tapasya. So he eventually decided, I'm not going to get distracted, and he performed tapasya successfully. Eventually became a Brahmarshi. There's so many examples, in history. If you look at even in examples of great personalities like Belva Mangal Thakur. Belva Mangal Thakur was so attracted initially to this prostitute Chintamani that he could not live without her. And even in storm and rainy weather, he crossed the river to go and meet her. And when she met him, she saw him, she said, "Are you crazy? Could not ever see, I didn't ever see anyone so crazy that who could not stay without woman. If you had put in so much effort, all this effort in Krishna, your life would have been successful." And that actually touched him. And thereafter, basically accepted Chintamani as his spiritual master, and he went to Vrindavan. And he got a little swayed away for a while as well again, until he decided, okay, Kama, lust enters through the senses. So he decided to break his eyes. That's why he can't see. And because he couldn't see, then that would not happen. He would not be able to get distracted, and he would be fixed in the memory of Krishna. Similar example we see in Goswami Tulsidas, person who wrote Ramayana in Hindi language. He initially did not want to get married, but then when he got a beautiful wife, he could not stay even for a moment. He could not stay without her for a moment. And one day she decided to go to her parents' house. And he missed her so much that he decided to go and see her. And so he walked all the night. And when he got there, he got into the house, jumped through the fence and got into the house, and he said, "I'm here now." And the wife said, "You put in so much effort to come and see me. If you had put in this effort, Ram, put in that energy in remembering Ram, and that's basically the reason how basically he decided to give up family life, and he dedicated his life in writing and remembering Lord Ram. There's so many examples in history. Ultimately, our goal is to develop love for the Supreme Lord. But we are diverting that love to an extent to a material being because we haven't developed the higher taste yet. We're still seeing ourselves on a gross bodily platform. Karma, as I said earlier, that enters through our senses. So one of the senses is through the eyes. Ajamil, right? Classic example. Ajamil went to the forest to pick some flowers, and he saw this prostitute engaging with another man. And by seeing that, he started pondering on top of it, thinking about it. So seeing, thinking, and then after thinking, it comes feeling. You start feeling about it. Your senses become agitated. Then you will, willing. Seeing, feeling, willing, and then seeing, feeling, and willing. So you will end up. So this is how basically even people these days who end up, unfortunately, raping people, they see through the eyes, they start thinking about it, they start meditating on this girl, for example, then they start feeling that, and then start engaging. They will do anything to engage in some sort of activity. So we have to control our senses, and the best way to control senses is by chanting more and more, taking shelter of the holy name. And so, like I said, we have to divert our love to the Supreme Lord. Like the gopis. Gopis, a classic example how they had pure love for Krishna. We can also see from the Ramayana that Mother Kaikeyi also had so much love for Lord Ram. She had so much love for Lord Ram that she was willing to sacrifice her own life for him. In the Ramayana, the Acharya explained that what Lord Ram was going after the announcement of his coronation, the first thing he did was he went to his mother Kaikeyi, tell her that this is what has happened. Our father has decided to make me the king tomorrow. Mother Kaikeyi said, she was really, really happy. But at the same time, she said, "My dear Ram, I don't want you to become a king just like that, just any king. I want you to be a king who's known for ages. And for that, I want you to do certain things. You need to be amongst the people. You need to go out and stay with people and know the problems, how they feel, what they do, and all of that. Remain amongst themselves to be able to understand, and then when you make judgments, you will be able to understand the feelings, how they deal with things, and all of that." So Lord Ram said, "What shall I do?" So Mother Kaikeyi said, "I want you to go to the forest for 14 years. And I want to stay there, perform austerity, and stay with people and learn the lives, understand the common problems and everything." She said, "I will make arrangements for you. Even if I have to give up my life, if people curse me for that, I'm happy to take that, but I want you to become the king who is known for ages." And that's how Lord Ram is today known as an absolute wonderful king. So because of that pure love she had for her son, for Lord Ram, she was willing to put her own, life on the line, basically, you know. She didn't mind people would curse him. Today people curse her because, you know, they said because of her, Lord Ram went to the forest. But then there's another story that he made Ram to go for the sake of becoming king who would be known for years to come. A king who would be would understand his people. So these days, like I said, we have our society has gone down to the dogs. You know, so many unwanted things are out in the media and public. You know, use social media, and kids learn, people learn, and they become agitated, and they they engage in activities. You know, even these days, boys and girls, they engage in some intimate relationship even before marriage, which is generally not acceptable in the Vedic culture. Nowadays, people have live in relationship. They want to test out each other first before they get married. That's not how things worked before. You know? And now, if things don't work out because they're not great, you know, then they just depart. They just leave each other, because for them, ultimately, body and how good are you and able to satisfy each other. That's what it is now, then, unfortunately. And of course, the external beauty. You may be beautiful from outside, but you may not be beautiful from inside. People don't care nowadays. And that's why, you know, there's so much divorce rate going on. And in fact, someone mentioned that ISKCON also has a good amount of divorce rate, because we're superficially pretending that we love someone, we are attracted to someone, but actually we are attracted to so much beauty. I remember way back, there's one devotee man married a girl in Fiji, and after some time decided to divorce her. And the reason for divorce was because before marriage she was slim, and after marriage she put on weight. So that was the reason. Supposedly, it should be mutual understanding, respect. Most importantly, respect for each other, and it's not seeing each other as tools for sense gratification. It should be about how can we work together? How can we both work together and serve together, you know, in association devoted? How can we engage in more service together? You know? So there's so many things happening today. Infatuation, it's all about not love, it's actually just infatuation. A lot of lusty desires are fulfilled. And actually this lust is the main cause of everything, a downfall. You know, we have to be very practical. If we think that we're not able to maintain a brahmacharya life, it's better to get married. That's why Prabhupada mentioned that women actually are very powerful personality. They actually has the key to make someone's house or destroy the house, someone's house. You know, a good woman will build relationship, get the family to stay together, and help get everyone engaged in the service. A bad woman can actually destroy all your relationships. So she holds a very important role in the Vedic culture. Women are respected as Matra, it's Devi, you know, and they're honored as Shakti. They have this wonderful role, but a misuse of that role can create problems in society. And that's why it's important that women remain chaste. That's why even when Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says when women become contaminated, then from them Varana Sankaras appear. That's why it's important to protect the women. You know, it's not about exploiting them; it's about protecting them and respecting them. You know, So I'll end over here. Anyone's got any comment? It is a difficult topic. I guess someone may say that, well, they might find it very difficult to pose up in the early stages, the fact that we don't, maybe there's not that tangible aspect, whether that's a material object and ability to it. I think it's important for us to gauge ourselves, do an introspect, bit of it, look within. How far are you actually from controlling the sense? I think it's important to gauge, and if you think that there are some work to be done, then do some work, see how you can develop that relationship, that love for Krishna. And the best way to develop love for Krishna is under the service of the Guru and association in the association of devotees. When you engage in spiritual activities, nonsense things will not come into our mind. No, lusty desires will not come into our mind because you're fully engaged in the service, reading, hearing, association, doing some sort of activity, spiritual activity. Of course, love for Krishna will not appear straight away, but we'll have to develop over a period of time. But I think we'll have to be very, very practical in our life. I don't want to dwell much on that topic in other sense because it might not be appropriate. But yeah, I think the most important thing is just remain as association and the guidance of senior devotees. This is what Prabhupada mentioned. And sometimes I think Prabhupada mentioned that when you have such divine desires, just chant more. Chant more. And but I think the most important thing is not to do things superficially. Don't say that I have no material desires. You've got to be very honest with yourself. We all have material desires. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that we all have our material desires. We also have spiritual desires. It's important for us to balance both of them. You can't just say that I don't have any material desires anymore, but after some time because you're suppressing that in yourself, right? And when suppressing that, at some point it will burst out. So it's important to be practical, to gauge yourself, do some introspection and see where am I at? How can I develop that? How can I develop further? How can I overcome these challenges? What are the things that's holding me back? You might have to tweak some things in your life, like if you're doing certain things which you think that possibly is actually distracting you, get rid of that. So kind of sometimes I think you just do an assessment of yourself, maybe. That's a good thing. Does that sound right? Anyone would like to add to that? Or would you like to add anything to that? No? All right. No more questions? Oh, we'll end here then. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Krishna.